I'm June. It was a drizzly night, and I sat alone in the living room, sipping tea and holding the final report that confirmed the restoration of my assets. The house was quiet, as if it had never witnessed the storm that had torn through my life. Just a few months ago, I was on the brink of losing everything: my marriage, my home, and my dignity. I grew up in a small town, the daughter of hard, working parents. My father was a strict but fair man who instilled in me the values of honesty and hard work. My mother was gentle and kind, always there to offer a listening ear. I met Ryan when I was in my early 20s. He was charming, ambitious, and seemed to have a bright future in the financial world. We got married and moved to the city, where he climbed the corporate ladder. One Wednesday morning at 5:26 a.m. Ryan's phone buzzed softly on the kitchen counter. He had claimed to work late the night before and was fast asleep on the couch beside me. A message lit up the screen. "I'm wearing the red dress today. I doubt you'll be able to take your eyes off me." I just stared at the phone, my hand frozen on the coffee pot handle. In our 18-year marriage, I'd never checked his phone because I believed in trust. 3 days later, a restaurant receipt fell out of his blazer pocket while I was gathering his clothes for dry cleaning. It was for a fancy dinner on a night I'd made his favorite meal and eaten alone. When he saw me holding the receipt, he acted so casually, but his smile, which once melted my heart, now made me sick. The next morning, I called his office to discuss a family dinner. His assistant, Lily, answered. The way she said Ryan's name sent shivers down my spine. She was clearly flaunting their intimacy. Then, one Thursday night in mid-May, I went to the store for a loaf of bread and a bottle of wine, hoping to mend the growing distance between us. When I opened the front door, I heard voices from his slightly ajar office. Ryan was saying, "She doesn't suspect a thing. Still cooks dinner and does my laundry like a machine." A young, confident woman's voice replied, "Told you. Women like her never believe they've been replaced until the divorce papers hit." I was devastated as I heard them plan to leave me with nothing, to sell the house, and to start a new life together. That night, I decided I wouldn't just give up. I started by observing Ryan's routine. I noticed he often stopped at a coffee shop downtown, a place that only one of his colleagues, Mark, seemed to frequent. Mark was the co-founder of the financial company Ryan worked for. He was quiet and unassuming, very different from Ryan. I finally approached Mark at the coffee shop. I told him everything I knew about Ryan's infidelity and the financial schemes he was involved in. Mark showed me evidence that Ryan was using shell companies to funnel profits into a personal account and was slowly pushing Mark out of the company's most valuable investments. From then on, I became a different person. By day, I was the quiet, loving wife, and by night, I was a detective. I found Ryan's computer password, dug through his financial files, and collected evidence of his illegal activities. I also played a long game. I pretended to be a wife desperately trying to save the marriage. I suggested marriage counseling, brought up old memories, and even left fake messages on my phone for Ryan to see. Each time, he panicked and left more traces of his wrongdoings. In early September, Ryan filed for divorce and presented a settlement that was clearly in his favor. He thought I was too meek to fight back. I hired a well-known but ineffective lawyer as a decoy, while my real attorney, Sarah, was a brilliant Harvard graduate with years of experience in high-stakes divorces. At the divorce hearing, I played my part perfectly. I looked tired and composed, like a wife clinging to the last thread of our 18-year marriage. Ryan's lawyer outlined a so-called reasonable settlement, but Sarah had inserted tiny, almost invisible clauses in the documents I signed. These clauses would later prove to be Ryan's downfall. 3 weeks after the trial, Ryan thought he had won. He moved into a penthouse, bought a new car, and showed up at an investment seminar with his mistress on his arm. But Mark called an emergency meeting at the company's headquarters. He presented evidence of Ryan's offshore accounts and illegal profit siphoning. The board voted unanimously to suspend Ryan as CEO. Lily, who had been so confident, lost her position as a business consultant. The financial network in the city is small, and she quickly became a pariah. A week after the meeting, Sarah filed a motion to reopen the divorce asset review. We presented evidence of Ryan's hidden accounts and fake payroll records. The court ordered the return of all legitimate assets to me, including our home, shares in 2 companies, and nearly $2 million he had tried to hide. One day in March, Ryan showed up at my door with a bouquet of wilted red roses. He wanted to talk, but his apologies meant nothing to me. I showed him a folder with all the evidence of his betrayal and told him to leave before I called my lawyer. A few weeks later, I received an invitation from Mark. He was taking over a new branch in Boston and thought I might be interested, but I decided I needed to learn to live for myself first. I no longer followed news about Ryan. I heard he left finance and started a struggling consulting firm. As for Lily, I saw her once in the supermarket, looking defeated. I've since spent my time planting flowers in the backyard, learning pottery, and making new friends. I drove to the beach one evening, tore up my old journal filled with notes of resistance, and let the ocean wind carry away my past pain. Now, I'm the author of my own story, and I've learned to trust myself. That's the real victory.